What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley, that's Scott Savage, and you can join us at InsideTheGame.ca, YouTube at Inside the Game Official, podcast services. Thanks to our friends at Fired Up Network. They have 212 platforms they're on. You literally cannot miss us over there in your earbuds. And of course, those TV streaming platforms around the globe, just like Roku, Amazon Prime, Samsung Plus, our friends at Jinx Esports TV, and a whole lot more. But Scott, our review of Exo Primal is up. We've heard you. We've heard. Where are the reviews? Well, here is ours, and it's a lengthy one. Myself, Corey, and Scott all talk about it for 10 minutes. Did I go on a rant? Yep, I sure did. But I had a few impressions to talk about and a couple questions, and I'm really questioning the longevity of this game. You can thank Xbox Game Pass, I think, for kind of saving this for a short while, but will it stick around? Well, we'll talk about that one. Scott, what's your early impressions?
Yeah, you had a big hot rant there, and don't get into it too far now, but my first impression, without, like I said, spilling the beans, there was a lot to be had in this. I thought Dinosaurs was quite a surprise this year. I thought Dinosaurs was, well, long past, but it turns out there's a huge PvP kind of element to this game, and that's where I want to get into. I want to find my place on the team, so I feel like a contributing member, just like I do on our team here.
That's perfect. There's a lot to talk about for today, though, so let's get into it. What do we have?
We have more Star Wars Outlaws details coming later this month. Phil Spencer has tweeted an update on the MSABK acquisition, just a small update. Diablo 4 players have slammed the latest nerf patch, and there's a new studio formed by Ex Bungie and Ex EA veterans, and they're working in Fortnite. That'll be interesting.
Very interesting. Lots to talk about on the show today, so let's dive in. Scott, topic number one for today has us pretty excited. It is more Star Wars Outlaw details. Has been confirmed later this month. This is Cade over comicbook.com. Star Wars Outlaws is getting new details later this month. The Star Wars universe is one of the most vast and rich fictional universes out there. There has been countless books, video games, shows, movies, and so forth. We all know how big this IP is.
Maybe a few movies too many, but
well, for some perhaps. But over the last decade, EA and Disney produced a handful of Star Wars games which were largely met with positive reviews, even if they had some rough starts. That's, yeah, to say the least. Now, Disney is allowing Ubisoft to take a crack at the Star Wars universe, and we got our first look at this game last month. On that, though, Star Wars Outlaws aims to be the first truly open world Star Wars game, and it's coming next year. Scott, just around the corner, kinda, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see, but fans are eagerly anticipating this game, and we've already had a pretty good taste of what to expect. But we're about to learn a lot more about it later this month. Ubisoft has confirmed that a San Diego Comic-Con panel for Star Wars Outlaws is coming later this month. The panel will be held on July 22nd at 5:15 p.m. There's no time zone there, Scott, but I'm guessing PST time, if I had to say, and revealed a lot of new behind-the-scenes details on the game. There will also be a photo opportunity and a whole bunch more. Scott, definitely I wonder at this point, most anticipated game of 2024?
I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because 2024 is the perfect time frame because we'll just be past Starfield, hopefully. But
yeah,
that's kind of where I'm not certain, actually. I was just saying earlier, I think this is a bit of a hot take, but I might be more excited for this game than I am for Starfield, because as we see more and more about Starfield, I think to myself, okay, well, I already kind of know what to expect, and I don't need to see much more. I'm just ready for the game. But when it comes to Outlaws, I'm super excited every time I see another little shred of detail.
Well, it's more Star Wars for me, and then coming off of Cal's latest story was Jedi Survivor, man, I'm itching for some more Star Wars. Granted, I could go back. There's a couple more things I could catch up on with that game, but I'm just too wrapped up in other things. But moving into where you say, like, Starfield's just around the corner. We're getting into this outer space exploration, massive adventure ahead of us here. And yeah, coming in 2024 for Star Wars Outlaws, dude, it's nice to see us play somewhat as, I bet you we're not the bad guy, but you know what I mean? To kind of have that little tainted slide to the game and not always just be, you know, like, here we are trying to save the universe kind of thing. I'm sure there is a bit of that in here. I would guarantee it. We're never fully the bad guy, Scott. When are we going to get in a game that we were just evil?
Oh, Force Unleashed got pretty close to that.
There you go. But Star Wars Outlaws, we did get about, I think it was like a 10-minute trailer, gameplay trailer, to kind of give us an insight of what's coming. That was over at the Ubisoft Forward event. And man, that was impressive. I was really, really impressed. And so far, yeah, most anticipated game of 2024, I would say. There's a lot to unpack. We'll be following up with more details as soon as we hear anything. But yeah, hype scale level, I think it's pretty high, Scott.
Oh, absolutely. I cannot wait. And as they show more, I think the space flight, I was a little bit worried about that, but it was solved and I'm happy with what I saw. And then my next issue was, okay, open world. Well, how big is that going to get? Is it going to be procedurally generated? And although I don't have the information right in front of me now, I have seen talk about it's not procedurally generated. They are each handcrafted worlds. So hopefully lush, rich experience.
Well, they have the opportunity to basically take us anywhere in the galaxy, right? I think that's the exciting part. But when you say open world and Ubisoft, dude, that's always terrifying. right? Just because of the sheer scope of the Assassin's Creed games and how massive those have been. We saw them grow from Origins into Odyssey. Man, Odyssey was so big. And then Valhalla as well was not small at any scope whatsoever when it comes to an open world game. How many items are we going to have though, Scott? When they say open world, like, we just going to pan out and think, okay, we're going to jump from this planet to that planet to this planet. I think there's going to be a lot of that. But when you get to that planet, how big is that planet? Can we really go anywhere? Or do we get that more God of War experience where it's an open map area? But they say open world, dude, which means how many hours, Scott, do you think we'll be playing?
Oh,
100,
a lot
200,
of hours.
More, 400? Like, look at the size of The Witcher, man. I know people who have 400 hours into that game.
Oh, Dying Light 2 was isn't that fabled to be 1,500 hours? Our game's getting too big.
Well, then that's something we talk about often too, right? We just talked about Mirage coming over from Ubisoft as well, whereas on a much smaller scope for the Assassin's Creed series, and fans are pumped. But this is Star Wars, dude. And in all honesty, I could go for this open world aspect. We got into Jedi Survivor, but with Jedi Survivor, it wasn't open world, it was open areas. And I had a blast playing that. I loved exploring those areas. I talked about the verticality in that game for the level design. It's some of the best level design I've ever played. And I'm excited to see if they can carry some of that. Take a little bit of what Respawn's made over there, right? And then bring it to us over here with Outlaws for Ubisoft. And maybe have something really, really cool. But yeah, right now, from what we've seen, dude, I'm pumped. I'm really, really excited. Definitely curious to see about this new character as well, right? We're getting into a brand new storyline. This isn't tied in with any of the movies, which is kind of nice to see that we're able to kind of branch off. And Disney's like, yo, just take our IP, craft a world you want to craft, and then set it free. And we'll see what happens, and fingers crossed. Somebody's got to be having pretty good eyes on it over at Disney going, hey, don't screw this up.
Yeah, I really hope nobody drops the ball here. We'll be talking about this for years to come.
Absolutely. Scott, we got some breaking news. Phil Spencer took to Twitter. If you don't know who Phil Spencer is, he's the big boss, head man over at Xbox. Yeah, the Xbox boss, a lot of us call him. But Microsoft and Activision Blizzard have extended the merger agreement deadline to October 18th. We're optimistic about getting this done and excited about bringing more games to more players everywhere. Scott, we're not quite done. Today was the official deadline, and they've asked it to be extended. Now we have to wait till October. Does this mean we're going to be talking about it for a couple more months? Man, I just want to wrap it up. Wrap up and move on.
I would really like this to be over with. Although the side spin-off of this is that all the Call of Duty games are now booming. The older ones that are.
Well, it's no big surprise, right? Call of Duty been a hot topic as of lately, especially with all this Activision and Blizzard merger deals kind of conversations going on. And then the CMA and the FTC and this, that, and the other, and XYZ, man, it's just like, who isn't trying to stop this? And now that they are kind of getting past this and going, no, this is actually a good thing for competition, and we're going to bring it over, and this is going to work. But the other people in the UK are still fighting it. Just like, holy, can we just stop already? The biggest thing for me is once it is all done, what's the future then begin to build like for Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard? Now it's, dude, when you think about it, we get the Xbox Bethesda showcase. Do we get an Xbox Activision showcase?
No, that's an interesting. Does Xbox just owns BlizzCon now?
Well, that's another thing too, right? And I saw something go up this morning about esports too when it comes to the esports side of Activision Blizzard. There's a whole other division that Xbox will get a hold of. Now, I wonder if that's something that they just missed completely. Call of Duty's got their own pro league, right? Overwatch has their own pro league, even though it's really not doing well right now. Overwatch 2 as a whole isn't doing well right now. So there's a lot of things kind of going on, but either way, they've extended it. We're just giving you another update. One day we'll be able to stop talking about this. Scott, we're talking about more Blizzard because it's Diablo 4 players slam the latest nerf patch. Blizzard promises to address the backlash. This is Wesley Yinpool over at IGN. Blizzard has promised to address feedback from players on Diablo 4's latest patch following backlash from the community. Diablo 4 guys long awaited preseason 1 patch 1.1.0 just yesterday, and it didn't take long for players to criticize Blizzard for implementing heavy-handed nerfs. Scott, to be expected, man. You're always going to get this ebb and flow when another patch comes out. It kind of reminds me of Destiny, honestly, at the end of the day, right? People are always looking forward to new content, and then it comes out, it drops, and everybody's like, whoa, what'd you do this for? No, now you did this, and no, I don't like this. And, man, nobody's ever happy, but here's the good thing. Because the patch makes sweeping nerfs across the board, with Sorcerer players in particular bemused by the significant hit to the power of their class. Scott, any takes on that? You and Corey reviewed this game for us, Diablo 4. I am very much on the outside listening in to about how everybody loves this game, and now some people are not so happy.
Yeah, not so happy if you're a sorcerer, but I have a friend that is a sorcerer, and he kind of experienced this never-ending mana. He figured a way to kind of break his character to make it overpowered, so I can understand a bit of this. Myself, personally, I'm a druid, so I don't think I'm terribly affected, but this is interesting because these come after some players are starting to hit almost 1 billion damage as a character. There are certain character builds that are just insane, and this does not seem to attack that directly.
Okay, well, the popular endgame activity, Hell Tides, has been made harder, and with an increase to the cost of opening mystery chests. Slower. The low cinder drop rate is the bug, in brackets there, Scott. The experience bonus for killing monsters at high levels has been nerfed, and critically, Blizzard significantly nerfed crit strike damage, vulnerable damage, cooldown reduction, as well as certain affixes, which reduces the effectiveness of many established builds. In general, we prefer build-specific changes to the bonuses instead of decreases, but we feel these changes are necessary for the overall health of the game, Blizzard explained. Diablo 4 is a game that is continually evolving through its seasons, thus the adjustment we make will evolve with them. Last night, Diablo 4 Community Development Director Adam Fletcher took to Twitter to say Blizzard staff will address this feedback in a campfire chat set for later this week. Quote, "We have been hearing feedback from players regarding some of the changes in 1.1.0 for Diablo 4, Fletcher said. We are going to have a campfire chat later this week on Friday to talk more about it. We will have more details and timing in the next day. Thanks again for your feedback." Scott, that's the biggest thing. Diablo, right out front, having Adam there kind of take the lead, go, hey, we hear you. We know you're not happy. We're working on it. Thoughts?
That matters a lot in almost any instance of this happening. I just, the transparency is always comforting, but this actually does a couple good things, I think, because thinking back now, running through that campaign, you're done the story before you're supposed to be. Like, you end up being a super high level by the time you get there, and or you don't need to be a high level to get there. There's certainly a balance issue happening, so this will adjust, but there's also a thread of more information here too. With these seasons, there will be more updates. There will be nerfs and fixes here and there. So just like Destiny players, we're going to have to get used to it.
Well, Diablo 4 is something that Blizzard wants to carry on for years, right? They are going to make this a live service experience. bringing in new seasons, new content. Like I saw the other day, it was Diablo 3 had season 28. So if that's any indication of where Diablo 4 can go, you like everybody's in for a long run, a long haul of ups, downs, changes, good or bad, depending on which class you are, which player base you're involved with, and all that kind of thing. So it's just going to be one of those. Blizzard will take it one step at a time and listen to the feedback with Adam hopefully at the helm here. We're leading the charge going, hey, yeah, we heard you, and this is fantastic. Like you say, right, the transparency up front and saying, yeah, we're here, we want to work with the community to make sure everybody is happy. But here's the bottom line, Scott, you're not going to please everybody. Right?
No,
that's the biggest thing. There's so many players right now involved in Diablo 4, which is fantastic to see, and a lot of brand new players. It's to the point where I've heard so much about it, I'm like this close to get into myself to see if I want to kind of stick with it, right, and play it. I know Corey's loving it, and then his wife is loving it with them. Like it's one of those, they play together. It's so cool. It's one of those experiences pulling a lot of people in, man.
I want to pull you into the party now.
Well,
I'll be your tourist, your Sherpa guide to bring you up the mountain.
Man, I have so much already on the go. I don't know if I can get into another live service game like this where you are going to be here for a long time. I'm looking for that, but the dungeon crawler experience, like I was talking to my brother, he's reached 200 hours into Diablo 4.
Holy.
So that's, he kind of likes the game too, but he says now he's starting to reach the point where like, I don't want to go raid another dungeon. Right? He doesn't want to do that anymore.
He's about capped out.
Yeah, he goes, I'm getting bored. I said, well, after 200 hours, are you really complaining? Like, what are you complaining about, man?
Yeah, I think you got your money out of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you enjoyed the game. So it is pulling everybody in, right? And it's exciting to listen to other people talk about the game. It's just one of those things I'm watching from a distance because I really don't know if I can get all that involved just because of the play style. I'm not a dungeon kind of crawler player myself. So I love listening to everybody's
the same
stories.
thing though.
Yeah, well, that's just it, right? This is what I mean. So now you get people who are like yourself going, I don't know, and now you're hooked. I was like, oh man, maybe I should just stay away, Scott. You know what? I'm just gonna rebuttal. I'm staying away. I'm going out. I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I can't afford to do it. It's a time sake that I just don't have. And with Starfield just around the corner, I can't get involved in this.
That is true. Yeah, you're gonna have to make some space on the plate.
Absolutely. Let us know over on Twitter, the official ITG. Have you played Diablo 4? And what are your thoughts on Season 1? Scott, we see this a lot. New studios popping up all the time, but here's an interesting one. This is Look North World, is a new studio formed by Ex Bungie and EA veterans. Michael Harridan's over at PSU. Electronic Arts, Bungie, and Concurrent veterans have established a brand new development studio named Look North World. The company was founded by Alex Soropian, who's the founder of Bungie, and then a ton of other people, which is pretty exciting to hear, but this is the interesting part when it comes down to what they're actually developing. The studio's first game is described as, quote, a Wild West Island featuring skill-based shootouts, end quote, and is being developed in Unreal Engine for Fortnite. Scott, this is the interesting part, right? Well, developing an Unreal Engine Fortnite opens a whole new world of opportunities, and we are in uncharted territory. Through experimentation, we will see what happens to players like that and involve them in decisions. We are jumping into it with a, quote, the virtual sky is the limit mentality. Okay, as we develop creative ideas, we will learn how these platforms engage, entertain, and boost social interactions in order to iterate accordingly. Scott, we saw a trailer. Man, I was pretty underwhelmed just by the fact that it just looks like more Fortnite.
Yeah, being in the Fortnite engine, the Unreal Engine, I suppose, is what it is, but it does unshakably have that Fortnite look. I'm not sure if you can really diversify beyond that, but that, interestingly enough, that might be my first set of feedback as well, is, well, how can we differentiate this game from others? There's a lot of interesting skins that I was seeing, but I'm unaware if that's just normal Fortnite skins.
Well, so if you're unaware, Unreal Engine Fortnite is the latest creative engine behind the world of Fortnite. Here's the thing, if this is Fortnite, Unreal Engine Creative Fortnite, or this is Creative Suite 2.0, they're calling it, right? This engine allows you to create literally anything. And this is what I said, okay, cool. Studio, a studio of developers, of veteran developers, Scott, are going to jump into this and give us something that we'll never experience ever in the world of Fortnite. We've seen some amazing things from talented people, but I don't think we've actually had a studio of ex-veterans come in to make an actual game just for Unreal Engine Fortnite. They have realistic textures. Dude, we were doing shootouts and stuff that were like Call of Duty maps and looked like Call of Duty level, right? That's the thing. Granted, we're still playing there with my Kratos skin in Fortnite, so that was kind of weird. That's the limitation right now that I'm hoping we're going to get past, and then have Unreal Engine Fortnite be just as another Unreal Engine or another Unity engine for people to dive in and create games. Problem here is that what Look North World has created essentially looks just like Fortnite, from the world design itself to obviously our characters and things like that we're playing with. And to me, this isn't what I was hoping for, to see a brand new studio come out. I get the experimentation and they're testing new grounds and new waters, which I think is really, really cool. But I would have liked to have seen a different spin on the landscape to see that, hey, we are pushing the Unreal Engine Fortnite side of things, and it just didn't feel that way at all. It just felt like it was just, again, more Fortnite.
Yeah, I need to do some learning on this actually, because can you export that to be a game of its own entity, or do you need to load that up through Fortnite? Again, I haven't really explored too heavily, but it makes me wonder, how do you secure funding for something like that? How can you sell or market this game? How does that work in general? They really are forging a new path here.
They are, but you have to jump into Fortnite first. It's not going to be sold in its own entity, its own game. It's going to be, you go to Fortnite, you go to the creative suite, and then you load up the game. Well, then how are you making something that's not just what's already there, or something that's separate from the store, right? Is Epic going to jump in and go, hey, we've hired these developers, they're going to make us a cool game for everybody to play in the Fortnite community? That's the other side of it too, right? You have a huge, massive community with Fortnite. You're able to tap into them, but how do you tap into those who aren't a part of that world, who just go to their Xbox, who are going to play Starfield, but are going to miss it on this because they haven't seen it come around and have the opportunity to present it on the Xbox store? Because it's not going to be on the Xbox store. It's going to be in the Fortnite world, right? That's the other side of it too. A lot of questions still, Scott.
Yeah, a lot of wonder.
Scott, we're back once again with more games out today, and there's still quite the list. We're not slowing down. What do we have?
We have Spirit Hunters Infinite Horde, that is on PlayStation 4 or 5, Xboxes, and the Switch. Poo Poo's Adventure Park comes to PC. I have questions.
Oh, man.
Maquette is now on the Xbox One, X, and S. Let's Revolution comes to PC and Mac. T for God comes out on PC. And Farsiders as well on PC.
Farsiders look kind of cool to me, actually. That's one that stood out to me. Let us know what you're playing over on Twitter, the official ITG.
I'm going to show you one of her awesome techniques for handling missions.
Well, that'll wrap up today's episode, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. That's Scott Savage.
And we'll see you inside the game.